This NFL season is definitely going to be super exciting. With the season starting in September, there's already so much to look forward to. If you've somehow missed out on some of the breaking news from the NFL, we'll be more than happy to allow you to catch up. In this video, we'll give you a rundown of what's brewing so far. First up, what's going on with Baker and Watson? This year has been pretty confusing for Baker Mayfield. The Cleveland Browns put Deshaun Watson in his place as a starter. This was because of a trade that took place with the Houston Texans earlier this year. Even though there's some pretty serious allegations against the quarterback, it looks like the Browns don't want him to go just now. The fact that the Browns chose Watson over Mayfield is pretty surprising, especially because Mayfield was the first pick in the drafts. Before he joined, they only made the playoffs once in 2002, and the second time this happened, Mayfield led them to it. He was definitely proving to be an asset for them, especially because he was just a rookie. His career seemed pretty stable for 3 seasons, and the Browns were actually having a good season because of him. This is exactly why fans and other NFL watchers thought he'd also get a longer contract. However, this contract was instead offered to Deshaun Watson, who has some pretty serious sexual harassment and assault allegations lined up against him. Next, we have details about the allegations against Watson. Fans and other watchers of the sport think that Watson shouldn't be allowed on the field at all, and rightfully so. More than 24 women have come out with their stories about the Browns quarterback harassing or assaulting them during massage therapy appointments. The Texans and his own lawyer took great measures to hide this from the public too. It also seems that the number of women coming out with allegations against Watson just keeps growing for now. Details about these accounts say that most of these incidents happened while he was looking for massages from women, only for it to turn into something else. It also seems that he was preying on women who looked vulnerable and would listen without protesting. He definitely took advantage of his status with regards to this. So, what's next for the team? The NFL shouldn't stand for this behavior at all. Deshaun Watson signed a multi-million-dollar deal with his team, which explains why they were so desperate to cover for him. His contract says he was going to get $230 million over the next 5 years. Whoa, that's a lot of money. He definitely doesn't have any intention of leaving the Cleveland Browns anytime soon. Even though he was suspended for the whole season in 2021, the extension of his contract is guaranteeing that he's not going anywhere. It's also the largest amount of money, 100% guaranteed that is, that an NFL player is set to receive. Despite this, it seems that Watson's situation seems to be getting worse because everyone's definitely applying a lot more pressure. Even if the judge dismisses his previous lawsuits, he might get suspended again for violating the code of conduct of the NFL. Right now, though, we don't know where things are headed at all for him. As for Mayfield, analysts think that he shouldn't be returning to the field again because of the toxic environment. It also looks like he doesn't want to sign either because of his current situation or because he wants to avoid controversy. And now, Denver Broncos selling for a whopping $4.65 billion. Yeah, you heard that right. $4.65 billion. That's a lot of money. This is the largest deal in the history of American sports, even passing the New York Mets, which sold for $2.4 billion in 2020. So far, the deal hasn't been made official, since the NFL's financial committee and league ownership still have to give their approval. It's still pretty final, just not official yet. Here's what we know so far. The Walton Penner family is acquiring the team from the Pat Bowlen Trust. This group is headed by none other than the heir of the multi-billion-dollar corporation, Walmart. Allegedly, the price tag on this franchise is $4.65 billion, which clearly shocked many in the sports world. The Pat Bowlen Trust took over the franchise after Bowlen's death in 2019. The fact that the team is selling is pretty big because they've owned the team since 1984. They bought this franchise for $78 million, and it's crazy to see how much it's worth now. Either way, if the Broncos franchise sells for $4.65 billion, it's going to break the record for the most money paid for an American sports franchise. The previous record, even before the New York Mets, didn't come anywhere close to it. Anything over $2 billion is a lot. The only other sports franchise that sold for over that amount is the Carolina Panthers. David Tepper's bought it for $2.275 billion in 2019. Other franchises that come close are the Toronto Maple Leafs, Miami Marlins, Buffalo Bills, and the Seattle Mariners. But all these also sold for around the $1 billion range. Fans can't wait to see what this means for the future of the team. What do you think? Let us know. So, what's going on with Metcalf, Kupp, and Samuel? It seems that this offseason has a lot of stuff going on. Let's look at what it holds for these 3 players. It looks like DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks is looking to get an extension of his contract with him. He missed the compulsory minicamp, which might cause some problems for him right now. The Seahawks look like they're on the edge when it comes to extending his contract because of his injury. They really want to, but we don't know if it's going to happen right now. They've definitely had a rough offseason, and now with the trades, the situation gets more complex. Cooper Kupp, on the other hand, the Rams wide receiver, is apparently extending his contract by 3 years. Rams. After his exceptional performance last season, he's definitely reaping the benefits, which is an $80 million payout over 3 years. Kupp has played for the Rams since 2016, and fans can't wait to see his performance this year too. He just keeps getting better. Kupp Samuel is another player from the San Francisco team who could potentially be traded. He expressed this earlier this year, and people are speculating the reasons. Maybe it's because he's played 2 roles instead of 1 during his games last season, running back and wide receiver, and would probably like the guarantee of being the best in one. The manager of the 49ers doesn't want to let Samuel go, considering how big of an asset he is. At this point, though, things are still up in the air, and we don't know what will happen. As fans, we can just hope for the best. Time for some other news. Starting with Romeo Crennel retires. One of the oldest coaches in the game, Crennel is retiring this year. He coached so many teams, including the Cleveland Browns. He's retiring after 40 whole seasons of the NFL, which is insane to think about. In the 2020 season, he became the oldest head coach in the league, which is quite the achievement. Crennel is also one of the most decorated coaches, considering he's led his team to victory 5 times out of 6 at the Super Bowl. The New York Giants won 3, while the Patriots won 2. So many players are so sad about him leaving because of the special place he has in their hearts. They took to social media to express their gratitude for him. J.J. Watts called him absolute legend, which is so true. This moved many fans' hearts. Coach Crennel's legacy will definitely live on forever in the hearts of players and NFL fans forever. Next, we have players who caught our attention during NFL minicamps this week. So far, 12 teams have participated in the NFL minicamps. Let's look at the most promising players. Aiden Hutchinson particularly stood out from the defensive end for many people. He's also the 2nd overall selection from this year's draft, which is an amazing achievement. The Detroit Lions look like they'll have an exciting season overall this year. Sammy Watkins, who played for 3 different teams in the past few seasons, was also a star in the minicamps. Again, he's going to be taking an important role in the team, the wide receiver. Let's see how it goes for the Green Bay Packers, especially after their last trade. There's a lot the coach expects from Watkins right now, and we think he's going to exceed those expectations based on what we've observed. And finally, Tom Brady's first press conference after his announcement of returning. This was very anticipated by the fans because they definitely want to know what the mastermind is thinking this season. Brady answered a lot of questions, but also commented on his relationship with the Dolphins. When he was asked if he was joining them, he didn't deny it completely, which means that there's a big possibility he might be joining. Fans just can't wait to see what he has in store for them this season. That's a wrap for this video. What do you think about the whole situation with Mayfield and Watson? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.